Hi, my name is Pat, and this is my channel, Book Chat with Pat, and I'm glad that you're here. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the 18th book that I have read in the Read 24 in 2024 Banned Book Challenge, created by the illustrious MJ at Reading This Life. This week, I bought and read the middle grade book, Ban This Book, by Alan Gratz. I probably haven't read enough middle grade books, but when I read about the recent challenges to this novel, recommended for grades 3 through 7, I knew that I needed to read it and talk about it here as part of this challenge, because really, these challenges and bans do not get more absurd or ironic than this one. This is the tale of fourth grader Amy Ann Ollinger, an African American girl living in North Carolina who decides to fight censorship and book banning. She takes up this cause when she goes to her school library, which is her favorite place in the entire school building, to check out her favorite book, E.L. Koningsberg's From the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankweiler, only to discover that it and several other classics have been removed from the library shelves. On the first page of the novel, Amy Ann tells about how she discovered the book was missing. I'm just going to read a brief passage. It all started the day my favorite book went missing from the library. I didn't know it was missing, not yet. In my mind, it was still sitting there all alone on the shelf like a kid in the cafeteria waiting for her one and only friend to come and find her. Waiting for me to find her. All I wanted to do was run to the library and check out my favorite book before homeroom. But Rebecca, my one and only real-life friend, was still talking about trademarking our names. At this point, we don't know the title of her favorite book, but her feelings about the book speak volumes about who Amy Ann is. She's a little girl who doesn't have many friends. She is very shy, and she often holds back her true thoughts and feelings. She's also the eldest of 3 girls in her family, and she feels like no one there really sees or listens to her. She frequently thinks about running away from home and running away to the library, which is a big part of the plot in her favorite book, Children Who Decide to Run Away. Amy Ann seeks solace in the school library, where she goes every day after school when her parents think that she is attending various social activities such as extracurricular clubs after school. Most of her social world comes in the pages of books that she voraciously reads until she no longer can get her hands on her favorite book. As mentioned before, Amy Ann frequently has trouble speaking up or speaking her mind. Much of the novel is what she wishes she had said in various situations, followed by what she actually said. When she joins her school librarian at a school board meeting so that she can speak about the importance of her favorite book in her life, she is so terrified that she is unable to open her mouth. A parent has objected to this book and to a whole batch of books on the grounds that they are inappropriate for elementary school children. The librarian speaks in defense of the books, but Amy Ann cannot speak. Then the school board votes, and they vote to remove all of these challenged books. And Amy Ann feels terrible. She blames herself for not speaking up. But she does come up with a plan to fight back, and that makes up most of the rest of the novel. She decides to create a banned book library, which she runs out of her own locker. And it's called the Banned Book Locker Library. This is a wonderful book about a little girl who gains her voice and who learns how to stand up for what she believes in. It's a kid's book about causing, quote, good trouble, as John Lewis would say. And it's ultimately a very hopeful story about the power that even small kids can have to effect change. Well, in the last week or so, this 2017 novel has been in the news because there's a district in Florida that has voted to ban this book. A parent in the Indian River County School District challenged this book's existence in 2 elementary schools and 1 middle school. This challenger is a parent in the district, and she is also the president of a local chapter of Moms for Liberty, who have been the loudest advocates for the removal of books that they deem inappropriate. This is the second time that this novel has been challenged in Florida. The first time it was challenged in Clay County, and officials there voted to allow the book to remain on the library shelves. In Indian River, however, the board voted 3-2 to remove the book. 2 newly elected board members who voted to remove the book had been supported in their campaigns by the Moms for Liberty. The primary challenger of this book said that the book contains sexual content. Anyone who has actually read this book knows that it contains no sexual content whatsoever. A board member who supported its removal said, quote, "The title itself and the theme challenges our authority, and it even goes so far as to not only mention books that are deemed inappropriate by school boards, including ours, it not only mentions them, but it lists them," close quote. Books listed in this novel include Roald Dahl's Matilda, Louise Fitzhugh's Harriet the Spy, Judy Blume's Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, Alvin Schwartz's Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and all of R.L. Stein's Goosebumps series. Even the Moms for Liberty book rating site called booklooks.org gives Gratz's book the lowest possible rating of 1 out of 5 for objectionable material. The only objection listed on the site is that, quote, "it encourages activism in young children." The parent who has succeeded in getting this novel banned also succeeded in getting Khalid Hosseini's The Kite Runner, Kurt Vonnegut's Slaughterhouse-Five, Toni Morrison's The Bluest Eye, and Anne Frank's Diary of a Young Girl, removed from the district's libraries. She also objected to a children's book that depicted a goblin with a bare bottom. District officials opted, instead of removing that book, to draw clothing on the offending goblin, and the book remains on the shelves today. A board member who voted against Gratz's book said that he, Gratz, was justifying his main character's bad behavior, creating a library in her locker of books that had been removed because she disagreed with the board's decision, and that, he said, is at the heart of corruption in our society. The president of the school board, who voted against the removal, noted that those voting to ban the book were ignoring the fact that the book had already been vetted and approved twice. First, when it was purchased, and second, when it was challenged by this member of Moms for Liberty. The committee, consisting of school officials and parents, had voted twice to include this book in elementary and middle school libraries. They voted to buy the book and to keep the book when it was challenged. So the president of the board went on, quote, "We have had several eyes on this book before it even came to us, yet we're going to be the 5 people that overrule that committee. I have a hard time with that," close quote. Author Alan Gratz has said of the removal of his book, quote, "They banned the book because it talks about the books that they've banned, and because it talks about book banning. It feels like they know what they're doing, and they're somewhat ashamed of what they're doing, and they don't want a book on the shelves that calls them out," close quote. Gratz went on, quote, "It doesn't teach rebellion against the school board. It teaches civic engagement," close quote. So that's a bit about my 18th book in the Read 24 in 2024 Banned Book Challenge. As always, I thank you for watching. I hope that you're doing well. I'll speak with you again soon. Take care.